Okay, hi. This is for Module 6. In healthcare, a critical challenge is the inconsistent availability of essential blood products due to irregular donations. Hematech Solutions is pioneering a shift from donation-based to self-sustaining blood processing, revolutionizing reliability and accessibility to these blood products. This innovation expands the production of key blood products in vitro, eliminating the reliance on blood donors. This transition ensures a consistent supply, benefiting patient needs in urgent care of transfusions. Join us in the reshaping of the future of blood processing and transfusion for a healthcare system that saves lives and enhances medical practices. Alrighty. So at the end of this, I'm gonna address the peer comments and questions. So the expense model for Hematech Solutions includes categories such as research and development. That's going to be a huge chunk of expenses, especially upfront. Clinical trials, production and manufacturing, marketing and administrative expenses, as well as capital expenses. My expense model will heavily change over time, hopefully, transitioning from really high R&D costs, where you're going to spend years researching, developing your product, to more costs associated to production, sales, distribution, and setting the company up for acquisition. So the key financial metrics for costs in the business models. Of course, first things first, you're going to look at COGS. What are your costs of goods sold? How much are you spending to sell your product? Right now, I'm estimating each blood product kit is going to cost about $300 and retail for about $1,500, which is pretty normal in the normal range for what you would see other companies do, other competitive companies do. Of course, those COGS should reduce the more scale up you have. So cost per unit should decrease as the units you produce increase. Economy of scale. Another thing we're going to look at is gross margin. This will measure the profitability that shows how efficiently Hematech Solutions produces and sells kits. Operating expenses. All the costs associated with running the business in general that are not directly tied to the production of my kits. So salaries, rent, equipment, preventative maintenance, utilities, etc. So all the things that will cost money to run that have nothing to do with the production of my product. And something very important is the break-even point. The level of sales or revenue needed to cover all the costs, achieving neither profit or loss. How long will it take me to get to that break-even point, to where I've made up all the money that I've put in? We're not in the red, we're not in the black, we're right in the middle. I'll go over what that number is in a few more points. Where's your cash flow break-even point? Here we are. Cash flow break-even point is the point at which my company is not making profit nor loss. That's what I just said. This is a very important number in biotech, in all companies, but especially in biotech, because the pre-revenue phase can be so long-lasting while research and development is happening. So there could be years where you aren't making any money. You're just developing your product. You're spending money. You're hardcore in the red, millions of dollars. So assuming my total funding is about $3 million, which is on average might be a little low. It could be higher, but for this, I've estimated about $3 million. I'm selling each kit for about $1,500 each kit costing about $300 of production. My break-even point would be the sale of at least 2,500 kits, with the assumption that I have a minimum of 5 customers, which would not be a great scenario. I would like to have more than 5 customers. So with the assumption that I have 5 customers that use about 30 kits per week, it will take me 16 weeks of sales to hit my break-even point, which is pretty good. 16 weeks to make up your $3 million. That's pretty great. What is your finance and operations timeline? I would say the initial investment, I would say about 4 months. It may be longer. It really depends on your network and your connections. If you're able to find an investor that likes to invest in startups in the beginning, this is the time it will take to find and solidify a concrete initial investor that can front the capital it requires to formulate this biotech company. So it really depends on your network. With the network that I have, if I was confident in this process and I had the research to back it up, I would say about 4 months. With connections to University of Florida, which you kind of want to be careful with those relationships, with academia, I would say about 4 months for that one. Then you have startup and formation of the actual company. I put 6 months for this. Could be longer, could be less. This is kind of a general timeline. This represents the time it'll take to formulate the company, acquire the necessary equipment and components needed, as well as hire and train staff. So getting a company, making it an actual business legally, finding a place to run your business, renting out space, having equipment, and having employees. In the beginning, you're probably gonna have very minimal employees, 2 to 3, 4 to 5, something like that. So I put 6 months for that. Now R&D. This is kind of a shot in the dark number. I put 2 to 5 years. It's a huge range, but developing a product like this takes a lot of time. So 2 to 5 years for research and development. This is the time it will take to research and fully develop a successful product ready to be manufactured and sold. Regulatory testing, I put 1 year. This is trials and all the necessary testing in order to manufacture and sell this product. Validations. This isn't even putting the money to these timelines. Validations that it will require can take up to a year, cost a lot of money. So regulatory testing, I put 1 year. Manufacturing and sales, I put 1 year. It will take. This is the time it will take for me to set up the company for a merger or acquisition. So I've manufactured the product, working on sales, customer acquisition, really getting those sales built in, showing that this is a profitable company, that we have a great product, setting the company up for acquisition. Company acquisition, 1 year. The sale of the company via contract and established royalties. If you're selling to Thermo Fisher or something, that can take up to 12 months to get that solidified. So that's my general timeline. I feel like it truly represents a feasible and realistic biotech timeline, but that R&D is just something that you will never know. Maybe the product will never work, and you could have 20 years dedicated to R&D, and then the rest doesn't matter. But you just never know. That's what's great about science. Did anything change about the value proposition? Not in a few weeks. I think I'm still really committed to the idea of just getting the company formulated, dedicating R&D, setting the company up for acquisition, and hopefully selling. That would be the best scenario at this point. So to go over some peer commentary, yes, each kit would be purchased independently based on the needs of the bank or clinic. Maybe one clinic specializes in one certain blood product, such as platelets, so they wouldn't need to purchase CD34 hematopoietic stem cell kits. They would purchase platelet kits. Each kit would be separate, sold separately. So yeah, it would be individual purchase of a specific kit based on your needs. And the other question, my husband and I own a plastering company called Prime Plastering, LLC. We're a pretty new company, officially started in July 2023. It's only a few months ago. We have a few builders. My husband has been plastering for about six to 8 years now, and we're excited to see where this journey takes us. So we're excited. It was a huge jump, but we've been waiting to start the company, and so far, we're pretty happy we did.